So today, we got two of the greatest mercenaries, two of the greatest assassins in their respective universes going head to head. Deathstroke versus Taskmaster. This has been a really requested fight, and I can see why. So let's get started. Genetically engineered to surpass all human limits, once a soldier, Slade Wilson now works as one of the most feared assassins in the DC Universe. He has frequently clashed with the Teen Titans, Batman, the Justice League, Green Arrow, and even gods. As a result of an experiment conducted by the US government, Slade Wilson became a super soldier, with his muscular system hardening and making him way stronger than the average human. He is fast and agile enough to take on entire superhuman teams alone, which is insanely impressive. He also has a nice healing factor and can recover from injuries much faster than the average human. However, while he can survive gunshots and being stabbed with a sword, his healing factor isn't great enough to allow him to regrow his lost eyes or limbs. Which I guess you could have kind of figured out since he's got a big old eye patch. Now, Slade is genetically engineered to think 9 times faster than the average human being, which gives him incredibly heightened senses, reflexes, and agility. He's able to identify small changes in the air to signify a sneak attack, can cut a fly in half of a paperclip, and easily dodge point-blank gunfire. Deathstroke is an exceptional fighter and is an expert in unarmed combat as well as both melee and ranged weapons. He now goes into battle wearing the Icon suit, which is powered by his kinetic energy and is bulletproof and even capable of taking punches from Superman. He also carries a Promethean broadsword that is more durable than titanium, a nearly indestructible bow staff that can discharge a powerful energy blast, and various handguns, rifles, explosives, and bladed weapons. And then in the other corner we have Taskmaster. Tony Masters, also known as Taskmaster, possesses the ability to absorb knowledge and instantly replicate the combat skills of anyone he observes. He has used these skills as a teacher to many supervillains, henchmen, and even some heroes. In order to clean his record, he started working for the US government as a combat instructor, and then due to a series of events, he was ultimately put in as a sheriff of the criminal island known as Bagalia. But he currently serves as Madame Hydra's personal bodyguard. Now, Taskmaster has what he calls photographic reflexes, which means that after seeing someone perform an action, he can perfectly copy that action. He's gathered an impressive list of people that he has copied their skills, including Captain America, Hawkeye, Daredevil, Iron Fist, Punisher, Wolverine, Shang-Chi, Spider-Man, and even Hulk, Thor, and Scarlet Witch. Except, here's the catch. He can only mimic abilities as far as his body will allow him to. So he can copy Spider-Man's fighting skills, but he can't copy his strength or spider sense. And just because he can copy a skill doesn't necessarily mean he knows what's needed to do it. For instance, he could copy a famous pianist's performance, but he doesn't know how to read sheet music. Taskmaster also watches a lot of TV and movies to study superhumans, athletes, soldiers, stuntmen, and all that. And he can also watch the video and fast forward, which gives him the ability called double time, and gives him super speed for short periods of time. Now, Taskmaster carries an absurdly large arsenal on him, and has weapons similar to Cap's shield, Black Knight's sword, Daredevil's billy clubs, and Hawkeye's bow and arrow. So who wins? Well, let's break it down. Now, this is a really close fight, and both of these guys are roughly equals. In fact, both of these guys have taken down the top superhero team in their respective universes, with Deathstroke beating the Justice League and Taskmaster defeating the Avengers. Now, Deathstroke is physically superior to Taskmaster, as he's stronger, has ridiculous reflexes, is faster and more agile, and also has a nice healing factor in his corner. Of course, Taskmaster has the ability called double time, where he can perform moves and fast forward, and it gives him super speed for a short period of time. But Slade isn't just physically superior to Tony Masters, he's also a whole lot smarter. He has access to 90% of the untapped potential in his brain, and is genetically engineered to think 9 times faster than the average human. Not only does this give him greater reflexes and senses, but it also allows him to outthink and out-strategize his opponents, and just come up with more ways to take Taskmaster down. And that's obviously a big advantage. Now both of these guys have an impressive and lethal arsenal, but I gotta give Deathstroke the advantage in this category. Taskmaster has a shield, broadsword, bow and arrows, billy clubs, and occasionally guns. But Slade continuously carries handguns, rifles, and he also has a Prometheum sword and his nearly indestructible bow staff that can also shoot energy blast. So Deathstroke definitely has his advantage when it comes to range attacks, and Taskmaster will eventually become overwhelmed at long range. Yeah, Tony does have archery abilities of Hawkeye and a bow and trick arrows, but Deathstroke's Icon suit is durable enough to easily take any regular arrow and withstand most all trick arrows. Now let's move on to short range and hand-to-hand fighting. In this category, Taskmaster is more skilled and a better fighter than Deathstroke is. I mean, he has the combined skills and abilities of Captain America, Shang-Chi, Daredevil, Wolverine, Iron Fist, and Spider-Man, and that's just a few of the heroes that he has in his arsenal. Then after a while, Taskmaster will copy Slade's abilities, and Deathstroke will eventually be fighting against himself. But here's the thing. There's one notable person who Deathstroke has fought against that has much more skill and ability than Slade himself. Batman. Batman has 127 different forms of martial arts in his arsenal and is capable of switching up his fighting style on the fly while facing an opponent. But yet Deathstroke always holds his own or beats the Dark Knight. And as great as Taskmaster is, he can be a bit of a jobber from time to time. And interestingly, when he fights a new opponent, he seems to kind of relish in it, and will sometimes become arrogant enough to start talking about his abilities. If he was cocky enough to start doing this against Slade, it would not go well for him. At the end of the day, Deathstroke's greater arsenal and greater physicality are just going to be too much for Taskmaster to handle. And it doesn't really matter if Taskmaster has more fighting skills, or has copied more people, or even if he knows exactly when Deathstroke is going to hit or kick, because Taskmaster just isn't strong or fast enough to counter it. So overall, when all this is said and done, Deathstroke takes the victory. But what do y'all think? I would love to hear your thoughts, so sign off in the comments down below. Also, be sure to hit the subscribe button for videos just like this one every single day. See y'all next time.